Warm greetings to everyone. Allow me to be a part of your moment today as I share with you some of my insights on how families can still support other families during COVID 19. First of all, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Jowima Ang-Reyes. I'm also a registered social worker, and I currently work as a full-time faculty and the college secretary of the College of Social Work and Community Development from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. I'm assigned to talk about how we could possibly support families, other families, during this COVID-19 pandemic. There are many challenges right now that we face as families, and first and foremost, one of the things that is being faced by many families right now is the physiological needs, physiological needs in terms of the basic food, clothing, shelter. That would mean a lot in terms of the family survival. Second would be technically the psychological impact on each of the family members that affects the entire family dynamics. Given the uncertainties of the time, every day we wake up in the morning looking at the statistics over the television gives us a sense of alarm, and this can be felt all throughout the members of the family. The third is the social impact on families. We were so used to the line of thinking or perspective that as families, we promote solidarity in our own respective communities. We participate in so many activities just to solidify and get to know each other, to create that bond of being family. In our children's schools, we participate in PTAs, family gathering, family day. That is one of the things that helps us or balance our well-being, as individuals, the need to grow as an independent person, the need to also be supportive of our members of the family, our spouses, our children. So how do we now try to look into giving out support? The beauty is right now, because of social media, the many e-platforms, it's easier to reach out to a lot of people. If this happens way back in the 80s or so, difficult because there's no internet, no apps like the ones that we use now, the Zoom, the Hangout, Facebook, Twitter. So it's about changing the mindset, okay, of looking at things in a more optimistic way and being creative. First, in the context of the need of physiological needs of other families who might not be as blessed to be able to economically provide, given the fact that there's all work are suspended right now. And then there are families from the informal sectors also that are very much affected, and even middle class and upper class families also, because businesses stops, work on hold. There are many ways how we can support. First, there are many online donation drive, but make sure it's legitimate. That will be able to share the little we can, specifically asking donation for our frontline workers, family, and food for certain sectors or barangays that we have. Second is we can involve the rest of our family members also to sort of like do an inventory of our resources and food and other commodities in the house. And if we have a little bit to spare, then we can ask the family members to put them together. And if we know of relatives, friends, or even neighbors who would appreciate that gesture of kindness, we can just, sort of like, if it's far away, we can ask delivery to be done. There's so many apps right now. Or if it's our neighbor, we can just text and leave it in their front yard saying that, we have this package for you. At the same time, it also gives us the opportunity to share, what we have in the context of helping out those who might have challenges or who would appreciate additional resources. Second, the psychological impact on the family. How can we provide psychological impact? I think one of the things that has been affected by being in quarantine is the structure of our day. Before, it's easy for us because it's you know what you're supposed to do. You have goals to do, to achieve, so that even before you go to sleep, you're set forth on the things. If you structured your day and balance it into a way that would promote your own personal well-being, at the same time your family's well-being. Now, because everything is on hold and the quarantine has been extended until the end of the month, the structure was taken out of context, and there are some families who find it very difficult to even resume, their daily tasks. How can we help? A lot of families I've seen, we could actually sort of make it fun for our families. For example, if we have a family routine that we'd like to share online through Facebook, not that you want it to be too productive, because sometimes it's a challenge, because right now our brains are really wired up to be productive. So it's okay not to be as productive as prior to the onset of COVID, but at least strike a little balance of structure, so that there's something that you can sort of help the family members regain slowly, the new normal while we're in quarantine right now. Basic structuring, even the children, how they're supposed to wake up at a certain time of day, have done their chores, have sort of time for themselves, and then family time. Pwede kwentuhan lang. If those families don't have internet connection, you can probably look at old photos. This could be shared through your tips, and even posting some of your family time, together. In terms of doing that, also make sure to be responsible in the context of when we repost something, we send something, those informations are validated, authentic. We have many organizations right now, government, NGO, LGUs, that provides information that are data-based. Okay, so it's a responsibility, because we have so many circles of friends also in Facebook. It's our responsibility also to ensure that what we passed on, information that we passed on, are authenticated information. That way, we won't raise the level of anxiety. Okay, we also would probably like to encourage you posting more stories of the triumph of humanities, against all this COVID-19. Like, for example, the other day I reposted it because it touched me. It was about a volunteer driver who shuttles healthcare workers around, during change of shift. And then he chanced upon one man walking along EDSA, I guess. And he invited the man over. Sige, I'll bring you as far as where my destination will be going, because he was on his way home. And then the man was very blunt, say, I only have 200 pesos with me. And he started to talk about how he had to return home with 200 pesos only, because the company that he works for temporarily shut down because of the quarantine, and he was hoping that when the nearest time comes, it will be lifted, but then it was extended, so he had no other way but to try to go back to his family, and it's a long way off. I think he was going as far as Alabang area. So the driver, while he was talking to, was really had this insight that how long will 200 last, And then how would the family survive? No? And in that moment, what he did was, when he dropped off the person in the nearest area that, already walk up, approachable and being able to be walked through, he gave up his last remaining 1,000 pesos. And the person was surprised and said that, sir, I cannot even pay. This is all I have. And the driver said, the volunteer driver said, no, it's okay. And then you keep the 1,000. And the person was so touched with that gesture of kindness, of empathy. But it was more of the driver who had a full take on of saying that, it is times like this we count our blessings, and times like this that we realize that, despite difficulties, we are able to give that support. We need stories like this to share around, talk about, because it uplifts the spirit that, COVID-19 might be, something very, I think COVID-19, I cannot even describe it, is so uncertain that we don't really know what's going to happen next. We hope and pray it would change. But stories like this gives a triumph of humanity. That as long as we keep on and never let go of being humane, we will survive through. Lastly, I think it's the social impact upon families. No? Because we could not longer go to visit our friends, we cannot, classmates can come together. I think we could organize like a teleconference. If you used to talk, we can just have morning coffees over our Skype or any form of Wi-Fi information system or e-technology that could have a morning talk with our friend. Okay. Probably cooking. I have a good friend who is a very good cook, and she would share, her menus and instruction on how to do it. Children also can have playtime together. Through the laptop, they can have playtime together. My husband just probably have his meeting with his friends, talking about things. And because this sort of like helps us of not isolating ourselves despite the fact that we need to do social distancing. Overall, it's important to look at the situation with the ability to look at the positive side of what we're supposed to be embracing. Not toxic positivism, but the idea that this too shall pass. In the meantime, we be creative in our ways. A lot of people now are in TikTok. A lot of people are making videos of their tips. A lot of people are also reaching out to other families in terms of sharing the spiritual aspect. You can listen to mass, over the TV. You can watch mass on TV, make it a bonding memory. Look at old photographs. In the end, I think what is most important is that we looked at the opportunity of reaching out to other families in so many different ways. But I think it's how we also take care of ourselves and our family, and we share those tips with others. That will be very helpful, I guess. Keep safe, everyone, and God bless you all.